I've seen so many wild things as a lawyer. Some of the stories could be movies. And in fact, one of them was. The Captain Phillips case, the Maersk Alabama case, is probably the strangest case I've ever had in my life. I mean, before I knew it, I saw this story on the news like everybody else. American ship attacked by Somali pirates. The captain's taken hostage. Obama orders the Navy SEALs, because there was naval ships in the area, to go get these pirates and retrieve the captain. But boy, was there some crazy stuff. For example, back in the day, all those ships would carry petty cash, like $20,000, $30,000 specifically for ransom. Nobody knows where that went. There was 4 pirates. The Navy SEALs got 3 of them. One of them was on the ship. That pirate's now the only person in the United States in the last 100 years who's been convicted of piracy. He's in prison, although he's Somali, and there's a question about whether he was a teenager when he was convicted or not. But that case was crazy, because when we first got that case, what happened was Captain Phillips had come back and the crew and the captain got together and said, let's do a story about what happened. And Captain Phillips told him to jump in the lake. I don't want to have anything to do with you guys. I'm going to do this myself. And the crew was like, well, wait a second. You were the one that caused us to get kidnapped. Well, there was an American ship, and it was called the Maersk Alabama, and it was captured by Somali pirates, but everything else is basically fictionalized. There's a scene in the movie where Captain Phillips volunteers to get with the pirates. That was completely and totally made up. And so that was a crazy, crazy case. It was also a super complex case. So there's a lot of things that lawyers have to do at the beginning of a case. And one of the most important things lawyers do is figure out, where am I going to file this case? Like, what court am I going to put this case in? Different courts have different rules, different judges, they're better or worse. Where do you file a case where there's a ship off the coast of East Africa and it's attacked by Somali pirates, and the Somali pirates are killed by Navy SEALs, three out of the 4, and all the crew members that I represented were from different parts of the United States. Captain Phillips is from Rhode Island or something like that. Where do you file that case? Like, where do you even start? At one point, that case was in Texas, it was in Virginia, and it was in Alabama simultaneously. We had 3 different battles we were fighting. Plus, Tom Hanks was playing Captain Phillips, who was the person that caused all this stuff. And so we had to deal with the Hollywood publicity machine. How do you do that? It was an amazingly complex case. My favorite thing about that case is it completely changed the way maritime companies protect the people that work on their ships. It used to be that these ships would go through the most pirate-infested waters in the world with basically zero security, no weapons. In the movie, there was like these water cannons. They didn't have those. There was basically no defense. And the idea was you carry some petty cash and pay off the pirates and move along on your way. Now, every single ship has real security. And again, because of the vessel security plans, the VSPs and stuff, I'm not at liberty to talk about a lot of that. But I can tell you there has not been a single successful pirate attack on an American commercial ship since that case.